Good evening. Let's talk about the 2026 World Cup, the one the US was supposed to co-host. It was meant to be a festival of sport, a chance for America to prove it understands the offside rule. But now, FIFA is reportedly on the verge of pulling the plug. Yes, the United States could lose its hosting rights. This isn't just rumor. It's a five-alarm fire. Sources inside FIFA say the organization is fed up. With political chaos, logistical nightmares, and the risk of a global embarrassment. The plan? Shift the tournament north to Canada. That's right, the World Cup might be heading to the land of maple syrup and apologies. Imagine FIFA executives looking at the US and seeing not opportunity, but a disaster movie. Political infighting, security headaches, and a nation too divided to welcome the world. Then they look at Canada. Stability, enthusiasm, and a government ready to host. Billions of dollars are on the line, and Canada looks like the safer bet. So here we are, staring down the biggest sporting fumble in modern history. The US might lose the World Cup, not for lack of stadiums or fans, but because of a spectacular self-inflicted own goal. The implications are massive, touching everything from diplomacy to the price of a hot dog in Kansas City. This is more than a game. It's a story about promises, politics, and the moment America dropped the ball. And Canada, ever polite, was right there to pick it up. The world is watching as the US faces a stunning reversal. The greatest country on earth, sidelined by its own dysfunction. And Canada, ready to step into the spotlight. Let's talk about money. Because that's what this is really about. FIFA is a globe-trotting ATM, and the US was supposed to be its biggest ever withdrawal. Economists projected the 2026 World Cup would inject up to $40 billion into the US economy. That's jobs, small business booms, and a cascade of cash for cities nationwide. Host cities like Los Angeles, Miami, and New York invested millions, planning for a windfall. Now, that golden goose is heading to Toronto. The loss isn't just a number, it's a gut punch to local economies and national brands. Broadcasters and sponsors who bet big on an American World Cup are scrambling. TV rights, marketing campaigns, and advertising revenue all in jeopardy. Stadiums built for sellout crowds may end up hosting monster truck rallies instead. The prestige, the global spotlight, the economic jackpot, all gone. This is the financial cost of dysfunction. A sure thing turned into a historic blunder. The US didn't just lose a tournament, it forfeited an economic jackpot. Billions in lost opportunity, and a nation left wondering what could have been. The ripple effects will be felt for years. This is more than lost revenue. It's a lost moment. The world's biggest party moved north. America's loss is Canada's gain. And the lesson is brutal. Get your act together, or lose it all. How did the US snatch defeat from the jaws of victory? One word: bureaucracy. Hosting a World Cup requires coordination at every level, federal, state, and local. Agreements on security, visas, transportation, and tax exemptions became political battlegrounds. FIFA needed guarantees. America offered only gridlock. Simple decisions became partisan squabbles. Deadlines came and went, replaced by finger-pointing. Each host city operated like its own kingdom, with conflicting rules and demands. Standardizing anything across a dozen cities proved impossible. FIFA wanted a symphony. America delivered a cacophony. The result? Chaos, inefficiency, and a patchwork of problems. The US approach: don't worry, we'll figure it out. But FIFA doesn't gamble on vague promises. The red tape strangled preparations. The dream of a coast-to-coast celebration got lost in political posturing. America became its own worst enemy. The world saw a nation unable to deliver, and FIFA saw enough. While the US stumbled, Canada quietly prepared. FIFA saw competence, stability, and a government that could make decisions. Canada wasn't a backup plan. They were ready. Unified support from every level of government, clear plans, and detailed logistics. Security? Handled by the RCMP. Visas? Streamlined. Transportation? Integrated. While Americans argued, Canadians presented blueprints. They offered FIFA what it craved: certainty. Canada's message: the world is welcome here. Their pitch resonated with FIFA's vision of global unity. The Canadian proposal was technically sound and ideologically aligned. When FIFA's patience snapped, Canada was ready to step in. They had the infrastructure, the political will, and the right attitude. It was an open goal, and Canada tapped it in. They didn't get lucky, they were prepared. While the US doodled, Canada did its homework. The world noticed. And so did FIFA. This isn't just a logistical shuffle, it's a power shift in North American soccer. The US was always the big brother, Canada, the underdog. Now, Canada becomes the star. Hosting the World Cup puts Toronto and Vancouver at the center of the soccer universe. The best players, the global spotlight, and a chance to inspire a generation of Canadian kids. Infrastructure and grassroots investment would soar. Canada could build a lasting soccer legacy. For the US, it's a humiliating step backward. Years of trying to prove itself as a soccer nation, undone by political incompetence. The message: the US can't be trusted with the sport's crown jewel. This could impact everything from player development to MLS growth. Canada gains prestige and influence in CONCACAF. The balance of power shifts, the underdog leads the pack, and the US is forced to watch from the sidelines. This fiasco sends a message to every country eyeing a major event. The rules have changed. Infrastructure and money aren't enough. Political stability is now essential. FIFA's pivot to Canada sets a new standard: competence over chaos. The IOC and other federations are watching closely. Future bids will demand government guarantees and cross-party support. Political health is now as important as financial health. The era of defaulting to superpowers may be over. Why risk turmoil when you can have reliable efficiency? This could democratize hosting, spreading events to new corners of the globe. Prestige is not permanent. No country is too big to fail. If your government can't function, you don't get to host. The legacy of 2026 may be new standards for global events. The world is taking notes. Behind the billions, this is about people. Thousands of Americans, volunteers, small business owners, fans were ready for their moment. Now, that dream is gone, lost to dysfunction. Disappointment and anger replace optimism. For many, it's a personal financial crisis. Meanwhile, in Canada, it's a national dream come true. Pride and excitement sweep cities like Toronto and Vancouver. It's a unifying project, a chance to showcase Canada to the world. Volunteers buzz, businesses thrive, and communities celebrate. The underdog gets its moment in the sun. For Canadians, it's about building community and national pride. The World Cup becomes a catalyst for belonging and inspiration. Memories are made and a new legacy is born. Canada is ready to embrace the beautiful game, and the world will be watching. Moving the World Cup would shake US-Canada relations. Publicly, leaders would exchange polite words, but resentment would run deep. It's a public vote of no confidence in American leadership. The US would see it as a betrayal by FIFA and by Canada. This could strain cooperation on trade, security, and more. Trust, once broken, is hard to rebuild. Every negotiation would carry the sting of this moment. America's soft power would take a hit. Hosting global events is a way to project national strength. Losing that privilege signals unreliability. Canada's diplomatic stock would soar. It would be seen as the stable, competent power in North America. The World Cup would mark a new era of Canadian confidence and a defining moment for its global identity. As the dust settles, the final whistle blows, not on a match, but on an era of American exceptionalism. Losing the World Cup is a symptom of deeper dysfunction. A nation that promised the world a party but couldn't deliver. Empty stadiums and lost billions become monuments to failure. America's international standing takes a hit. Reputation, built over decades, can shatter in moments. The world sees a United States that's unreliable and unpredictable. Future bids for major events will face skepticism. This should be a wake-up call, a demand for better leadership. To lead the world, you must first lead yourself. The 2026 World Cup becomes a cautionary tale. While Canada celebrates, the US watches from afar. The most devastating loss of all, a nation sidelined by its own reflection.